Going on, everybody? Happy Wednesday to everyone. We're coming here to you a day early. Did a little switcheroo. Didn't have a show with Ted today. Asked Raj if he can do it. Of course, he obliged. We got a lot to talk about since the last time we talked, Raj. The 49ers were just NFC West champs. Now they're the number one seed, home field advantage. They're going to be resting players on Sunday. It's going to be interesting to see how much this rest affects this team. But before that, I just want to say sometimes what goes on behind the scenes is funnier than the stuff on the video scope on YouTube. I'm just saying that, and we'll leave it there. But how you doing, man?
I'm great, man. Number one seed, baby. We're the number one seed because the 49ers are pretty much balling this whole season. 9 Pro Bowlers, a league high. I'm feeling great. Got a dub. This game doesn't really matter. 49ers named Sam Darnold as a starter this week. I'm sure we're going to talk about that and everything else. I hope you had a great New Year's, my boy.
That game, the getting the 1 seed really made my New Year, to be honest with you. So, so far so good. Get the MRI results tomorrow to see what's wrong with my knee. Hopefully get some surgery. We'll see. Yeah, what was I going to say? You asked me how my New Year's going. I think watching that 49ers game and kind of like getting back on track. We lost to the Baltimore Ravens the week before. We could have done a lot better against the Commanders, but we still won the game. That's all that mattered. But the intrigue that happened after the game where I would go straight to Eagles Cardinals and to see the Cardinals upset the Eagles. And the Lions had already lost the day before, which means Niners get the 1 seed. That was awesome. It was cool seeing behind the scenes with the players and stuff. They're just as excited as we are because they get some rest.
Yeah.
How you feeling, man? How you feeling about everything?
Yeah, that's a good question. I feel incredible. I mean, this is a great season so far. Like, we had their adversity. Everybody was like, oh my God, they get to make the playoffs. Now they're the number 1 seed. Like, it's amazing. And like you said, the players reacting to becoming the number 1 seed that was amazing content. It was beautiful. Like, I was just like, oh my God. You see, Debo sitting there with a TV and Mike Silver and Tracy Sandler recorded the video and it's like, come on, Kyler. That moment cracked me up, man. Come on, Kyler. And shout out to the Cardinals, man. They went out there. Nobody thought they were going to beat the Eagles. The Eagles, oh yeah, they're not going to lose. It's going to come down to the last game of the season. And sure enough, the Cardinals, man, pulled off the greatest upset of the season. They beat the Dallas Cowboys earlier too. So they deserve a gift basket. I think I got to send the Cardinals, a big gift somewhere, sometime, maybe in Christmas. Shout out to them. And then they're huddled around the TV, the Niner player, and they're just like hyped up. It was just amazing, man. Like, it was an amazing feeling. As a fan, you love to see it. They get the number 1 seed, and they're resting now because they do have a lot of injuries. Armstead, CMC, all these guys are banged up. So it's nice to see that they get this rest to kind of get healthy. 21 days. And, the thing about it is the 49ers, every year that we've seen the 49ers get to the playoffs, except 2019, like, they had to go on the road. And we saw how they fall short. The energy's, tough. By the time you get to that third playoff game, you're just limping in and you're, licking your wounds and you don't get that time to rest. And, having to travel everywhere really takes a toll. So I was so happy to see this team get the number 1 seed. And again, shout out to the Cardinals, man. I was so excited when I saw the Cardinals. I was live streaming. I was like, oh my God. And we were jumping up. All the fans, we had like 1,000 people on the live. We were going crazy. It was just incredible, man. And the best part was, the day before when Detroit lost, I was like, there's a real good chance that the 49ers are going to win the number 1 seed tomorrow, which would be Sunday. And everybody's like, no, there's no way the Cardinals beat them. And sure enough, Eagles lose. To me, the Eagles have not been the same since the Niners just trashed them. Nick Bosa said it, that they gave them the blueprint. They truly gave the league the blueprint. The Eagles have fallen apart, and it absolutely makes me so happy, Aaron.
I feel like it would only be the right for us to face them again to put them officially out of their misery for this year. To me, that would be the ultimate like piece of resistance. Like, okay, Niners Eagles, and the Niners put a 40 burger on them again and put them out of their misery. And Sirianni's, losing his mind and getting chippy with the Philadelphia media. And you got the receiver, I forget his name, getting all pissy. And
AJ Brown.
There's a lot of dissension. And remember, who was the ex-Eagle linebacker when Bosa said that they had a blueprint? He got all pissed off and was like, blueprint? What you talking about? Because, they put up some yards on us and stuff. And yeah, blueprint, baby.
Yeah, he got so mad. I can't remember the guy's name, but yeah, he went on that Twitter rant and he was blueprint. He was like talking all this nasty smack about
Seth
Bosa.
Joyner, thank you.
Seth Joyner, thank you. And he went on a sick one on Bosa. And then it was funny because I was in the comments. It was like, you need to calm down because you guys lost, right? You're just salty. And ever since that moment, the Eagles have been absolutely exposed. Like I was having a conversation with someone today. We were talking about the playoffs and potential matchups. My buddy says he doesn't even know if the Eagles are going to win the first round in the playoffs. Like they might lose in that first round. Like it's possible the way they're playing. Like if let's say Tampa Bay wins the NFC South, could you imagine if Tampa Bay takes down the Eagles? Like, wow, what a fall from the top it would be for them. They were the NFC champs last year. The NFC champs. Although we know it would have been a different story, which we proved them this year. Brock Purdy was healthy. And now this year, they're limping into the playoffs. The 4-game, what? I think they're 1-3 since they played us. And it's amazing because the 49ers had their little 3-game losing streak, and everybody's sitting there saying, see, you guys aren't the best. Eagles are going to be number 1. Oh, ha, 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 ha. They might drop to the 5th seed after this weekend. Again, I love it.
Yeah, this has been a pretty good. I can't help but think that the Niners are going to finish the deal this year. I just have this feeling. I don't want to face Baltimore again, but then if that's the case, Niners just got to play better and move that ball like they did the last time, but turn it into points instead of turnovers. I want to say hi to the chat real quick. Sorry, you guys and gals. We started late because we were giggling like little girls off stream. We got Raphael 562 in the house as usual. He came in before the stream. Thank you, my man, for coming through. You always support. We got my better half, Jupiter Size, saying hello, everyone. Thanks for coming through. Thank you. Let's see here. We got Omar S. He says, "We back, Raj. What up?"
What's up, Big Omar?
We have Adam Solorio. He says, "Bang bang Niner gang." We have Bashar in here. He came in on before the stream. We were yucking it up like I said, like little kids. Had some fun, of course. Renee Cruz coming through. She said, "Let's go Die Hard Faithful San Francisco 49ers Empire. Bang bang Niner gang." Absolutely. Who else we got in here? We have Steve-O Knows. He says, "Hey, Raj and Aaron, always enjoyed y'all collabs. Hope you guys are doing well. Quest for 6. Yeah, I can't say it's Quest for 6 anymore. I think it's Take 6.
Take 6. No, what did you see Kristen Juszczyk? I'm sure you saw it, the vest she made for
Kyle Juszczyk's wife. Yeah, that's awesome.
Dude, that inside it though, there was like a Take the 6 or something. She said it like that's what was embroidered. Like she had a message in there, and it's not Quest for 6. I think it was Quest to the 6, something. Let me see. That was dope. That whole like vest was awesome, dude. That was awesome.
That looked like something you'd be rocking. Like I was waiting for you to come through with that. I'm like,
yeah, man, I should have.
Debo stole Raj's jacket. We got Jess in here from East Coast Red and Gold Podcast. Hello, Jess. We haven't talked quarterback rankings yet, so you're more welcome to stay. We'll get to that. No, I'm just kidding. We're not doing that. We have Debtopia in the house. Hello. We got How About Them Niners in the house. With the fire emoji. Can't say I disagree with you. We have Live and Die 49. Good evening, faithful. I can't see it. You got to bring it closer to the screen.
Oh, yeah. So it says embroidered. It says the Quest to the 6.
Yeah, I think Quest for 6 is run its course. That was like 10, 11 years ago.
Yeah, we done with that.
We got to do something different because that hasn't worked so far. Real quick, if you're on Instagram, come over to YouTube and join us. If you're on YouTube, go to Raj's channel, RSF 49ers Live. We have an older overlay here, but I probably should get our guy Roscoe to make us a new one. And come to 49ers First Takes. Watch both channels at the same time. We appreciate the support. Raj's channel is now officially popping, and I'm so happy for you. He deserves it. So everything's right in the world now. Raj's channel's popping. 49ers are they have the 1 seed, so everything's good right now.
Everybody's popping that needs to be popping.
Yeah.
It's happening.
Even things in my life are changing that I didn't ever think would ever change.
Good, man.
If you know me personally, you know that the solo life has been part of my gig for a while. But
My boy. My
but it
boy.
doesn't be this. It doesn't seem to be that way anymore. But I won't comment more than that because I ain't trying to jinx nothing. But yeah,
Oh, my boy balling. Let's go. Yee!
I want it.
Yo, Aaron. Ooh, let's go. My man. Shout out, boy.
You're ridiculous. Oh my God, she's laughing at you right now.
Woo. Oh, it makes sense. You said my better half. Oh, let's go.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Let's talk rest versus rust. That's the big discussion that's going on right now. If you guys don't know, Brock Purdy's been ruled out. I said Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy's been ruled out for the game. Christian McCaffrey isn't playing. I would assume not too many starters can sit because they only could sit so many and inactive. They only can activate inactive so many uninjured players. I think it's 7.
Mm-hmm.
So are you? I just watched this clip from Steve Young. I was going to download it and put it on the stream with us, but I'd rather just us talk. What's your take on rest versus rust? The Niners are officially, if you think about it, like Purdy's going to have 21 days between games. That's a long time. And Steve Young thinks that quarterbacks need time to ramp up, and he thinks that the time off could be detrimental. What's your thought on all that? And I'm not just talking about quarterback. I'm talking about everybody.
Yeah, I just saw that. Actually, I uploaded that on my YouTube. If you guys want to take a look at that after, I did upload that clip from KNBR. And, actually before that clip, I wasn't really as worried. Now I'm like, Steve Young put the fear of God in my eyes now. So let's talk about the whole thing. Because yesterday, Debo said pretty much on Up and Adam's show,
Yep.
Debo says, I'm playing, man. No, all hands on deck. I got to play. I don't want to get rusty. He goes, it's up to Kyle how much we play, but I'm going to play. He says a lot of the starters are planning on playing. Fred Warner said the same thing on his podcast, the Warner House. He says he's playing. He wants to play the whole game if he could, which, no, that's not good. And then Charvarius Ward the other day, after the game, he says they want to play because they don't want to be rusty. They want to go into this game, at least get their feet wet, And to me, like, the whole rest thing is because a lot of people are saying you can't play. You're going to be too rusty because they're NFL players. They're not going to forget how to play football. But at some point, your mind starts playing tricks on you. You need to get ramped up. It's like when you go in the preseason, you don't really play, and then all of a sudden, first game back, you're rusty, a little, unfocused. And sometimes that rest could be, and I get where Steve Young's coming from, it could be a little detrimental because you have 3 weeks to just sit in your thoughts. So sometimes when you're hot, you want to play, right? You just want to go, go, go. But with the 49ers, they do have a lot of players banged up, so like Armstead and, Tayshaun Gibson now has a quad strain, and a lot of players. But concussion for Jennings, who returned, but he's been dealing with the concussion, and Christian McCaffrey, who said he's good, but he's needs some rest. He deserves the rest, honestly, for carrying this team like he has. But sometimes the rest is good for players, that have been banged up. But some players do. They just need to kind of keep, fighting and playing and keep their hot streak going. But ultimately, this team is so good, man. They play great at home. I don't think it's going to be the end-all, be-all, but I see where Steve Young's coming. He says that for the quarterback position specifically, you want to make sure you get your feet wet and keep rolling. And, that 3 weeks rest could be kind of too much for the guy because Steve says in his mind, I just needed to go out there and make sure that I wasn't too, rusty going into that next week. And you know what? It's different for every position. I feel like some players need that. Like running backs, they need rest, man. They just been grinding, and the way they get hit so much at the line, sometimes they need that rest. But I can see where he's saying about the quarterback. You don't want this quarterback's arm to get, just all of a sudden stagnant. I know he'll be throwing and practicing and things like that to keep his arm healthy. But, you got to remember, Brock Purdy, he had the elbow injury, and then he ramped up. Then he took some time off during the bye week. He says, remember he was riding his tractor and he took some time off. Maybe the rest is actually going to be good because we got to factor how that elbow's feeling. We don't know how he's feeling. He's had a heck of a season. Set the franchise record in passing yards. Maybe the rest will be good for Brock, even though some people say, oh, he's rusty. I think he deserves the rest, man. This guy earned his first Pro Bowl nod. First Pro Bowl nod for any quarterback since Jeff freaking Garcia did it in the early 2000s, man. It's amazing. So for me, I don't think it's as bad as everybody makes it out to be. I think the Niners want to make sure that their quarterback and certain players are healthy coming into this big playoff game. Because guess what? How many times have we sat here and we cried about quarterback injuries? Protect this man, Aaron. Protect this man at all costs. Don't let him get hurt. Because if Sam Darnold is starting the divisional game, we got a problem. I'm okay with him starting Week 18, but I'm not okay with him starting the divisional game. And, the Miami Dolphins, prime example of when you need to rest your players, you need to rest. They had Bradley Chubb out there, 3 minutes left, 56-19. They're getting just dog walked. They keep this guy in a meaningless minutes, and he tore his freaking ACL. Do not play guys when you don't need to play them. That's my take.
100%. It's weird because you want guys to be fresh after such a long season and a lot of travel. The Niners had the most amount of travel. I think most amount of travel miles and the least amount of time off in the league, like by 21 days. They were like 21 days behind like the next closest team or something like that. It was a weird thing. So this, my whole thing is like what Steve Young said. He goes, you can't just throw your jock onto the field and be like, because he said it in sports, like in football, if you're not mentally prepared or with it in the game, you're going to get injured. Like you'll get seriously hurt. So, I'm okay with Brock being out. You can always ramp up in practice. You can have some spirited practices, no tackling or whatever. But there's ways to get guys ramped. Whatever they do, I mean, even if they play him in the game, it's not like he's going to play the whole game. If Brock was to play, he probably would have played a quarter and a half, maybe. But I'm glad he's not playing. Rest that arm. He has it on the heating pad during games when he's not throwing and stuff to keep it loose. Give him a chance to rest. A guy like Christian McCaffrey, who's going to be so vital to this playoff run. I'm so glad that they clinched early and he can rest. Tyshawn Gibson, unfortunate injuries. Safety has been just bludgeoned on our team with injuries. So Tyshawn Gibson, they say he'll be probably good to go for the playoff game. I'm okay with that. And think about this, man. Why have Bosa and Chase Young and Hargrave playing into the fourth quarter in a meaningless game? It's just there's just no need for it. Plus, the Rams aren't playing their starting quarterback. Cooper Kupp's not playing, so I know a lot of people were like, "Got to play, got to stay with it." Don't get too rusty. You have to rest guys eventually because you got to get guys time off. That's what the whole point of the number one seed is. There used to be 2 number one seeds, and now there's only one. It used to be home field advantage, 1 seed. Then the 2 seed was not home field advantage. You get at least 1 playoff game at home, and you get a week off. Now it's just 1 team gets it.
Yeah.
So
that's what you fight for.
The Niners earned that. Okay, they went into Philly and whooped Philly. They went into Jacksonville and whipped Jacksonville. They had Dallas at home. They smashed Dallas. The Jaguar or the Ravens, they kicked our ass. But who knows? Maybe we get another shot at them. Maybe not. Maybe somebody beats them. Can Lamar actually be good in the playoffs? There's regular season Lamar Jackson, and then there's playoff Lamar Jackson. So what will we see?
That was the question in the offseason when he was trying to get his contract and negotiations and all that. People were saying the reason why maybe he's not getting it is because playoff success was lacking. And again, that is the biggest downfall for Lamar. He's proven everybody wrong so far, and the way he's played this season. He came in, beat the Niners. It is what it is. Maybe we meet him down the line. And sometimes you take those losses early in the season, and it's good for you. And I definitely think it was good. It was a big learning game for the 49ers right before the playoffs. And again, banged up, man. Let them take the rest. That's what you fight for all season, to get that number 1 seed and be able to take some time off and rest. It's a long season, 17 games, or it's a 18-week season now. They added the extra game. That's tough, man. Sometimes your body just says, I can't do it, man. So it's good for them. Let them rest, get those extra days off. I don't think it's going to harm anybody. I mean, there will be certain players playing. And you know what? Like you did mention the safety issue. And pretty much every safety's kind of got banged up. Tyshawn Gibson, Jair Brown, who's got a knee sprain also, to Talanoa Hufanga, George Odom. All your starting safeties have gone down. But kudos to the 49ers for bringing in depth. And that is why you make offseason signings. That's why you get players during the regular season. That's why you bring in great players to the practice squad. They've been signing a lot of good players for depth, and now they're getting to be utilized. And the fact that they're getting, some run here and there when the playoffs come, if a guy's banged up, it's not going to be like, oh my God, we got to play Logan Ryan. He's been playing for the last couple of weeks, and he might make a big play here in the next couple of weeks.
Same with Joseph Day.
Yeah.
Joseph Day is going to get a lot of run in this game. Perfect for him. He's got to get this defense down. He'll have this game. They'll probably give him a handful. Give him some like, hey, just rush through this, do this, rush the quarter. Because I guess he came from a defense that was a one gap. I forgot the Niners defense is completely different. So he's going to have to take some learn. So getting a little experience and then going on the bye week could give him enough time. So, because we don't know what's going on with Eric Armstead. We need Eric Armstead for the playoffs.
Man.
I've dealt with plantar fasciitis before and in a very limited time. But when it hits, you can't stand.
You can't.
It's literally standing it feels like bone to skin.
It's so painful. Like. Yeah, it's painful. And for an athlete, they have to be able to go out there and do whatever they got to do pain-free. And that's the return to criteria for that injury. And sometimes the pain lasts for weeks. It lingers. So who knows when he's coming back? And, it's not something where you can say, oh, you'll be good in 2 weeks. Oh, you'll be good in a week. Like, there's no real timetable for it. So it's kind of an unfortunate injury for Eric Armstead. I hope he gets better because we need that, man. You could see how different the defensive run defense has been since he's been, on the men. So hopefully he comes back, man. We need him. And, it is nice that they had Joseph Day, but he definitely needs to kind of get up to speed. He played a little bit. Kyle said he liked what he saw out of him, but definitely didn't play an abundance of snaps. But This is a game where those guys, Jason Verrett, Logan Ryan, all these guys are going to get to
Eric
play.
Harris?
Speaking of Jason Verrett, I think he might start at corner this week because Ambry Thomas had surgery to repair a broken hand. The man broke his hand.
Yeah, this man broke his hand. So, I mean, listen, the Niners getting the bye is like, there was that interview with Fred Warner and his wife from their podcast show, saying it doesn't really mean anything to me, the number one seed, if you're not going in playing really good ball. Trust me, Fred's probably really happy that a lot of his comrades are going to get a time to get healthy because the Niners, it's all hands on deck, man. This is a Super Bowl or bust. We need to come into this game in 3 weeks. And, I think of the Jaguars game. We had the 3-game losing streak. We looked tired. Had the 2 weeks for the bye week, came back and was smacked, and the defense was hitting. Everybody looked refreshed.
Yeah,
that's what the whole thing is. I'm glad everybody's getting a chance to get refreshed, especially in a sport that you just get your body. I mean, look at Christian McCaffrey, man. He's a walking bruise, man. Like his body is just. I feel for him, but he loves football.
I know.
That's why he trains. He gets, what does he say? He takes like 15 days off after the season, and then he goes right back to work.
Dude.
Like if I was a player, I would take like 2 months off before I go.
Hey, dog, I'd be gone for a while.
Yeah.
But this man's training regimen, him and Nick Bosa, you could tell they train so amazing. I just remember the videos from Christian McCaffrey when he was doing his training. I remember his training group would like send me his videos, and I'm like, this is what Christian McCaffrey's doing. It was just like February, maybe end of February, March. Season's barely over, and I'm like, why are you sending me this? Is from last year. He goes, this is now. He's training. Post this on your page. I'm like, okay, will do. I got the point. Of course, it goes crazy. And like, how's this man training already like at this high level? But that's what he does because he knows how much his body's going to take an abuse, during the season. And he wants to make sure he can withstand that. And the way he plays is just, it's so good. And that's why Kyle, it's hard for him not to give Christian McCaffrey the ball because he's so much better than every other running back on this team. We have good running backs, but nobody is as explosive. They can't keep running the way that he does. His vision. He gets the ball and he takes a 2-yard play, turns it into 12 yards. Nobody else is doing it on this team. He's just, and that's because his training, man. He's a phenomenal player, but he deserves this rest, man. Let him get some rest. You saw the video a couple months ago where he was all bruised up and battered up, man, from taking the beating. He deserves the rest, man.
All these guys with these pretty wives, man, they can get a chance to hang out with their women a little bit for a couple weeks.
Good for them, man. Good for them.
Get some stress relief.
Yeah, for sure. They need it.
I don't know. I'm just being weird. I'm sorry.
No, they do. They deserve it.
Whatever you got to do to help your there's a video of Bill Walsh talking about the 49ers. We need to get rest. He goes, for some of you, Lots of sex. Others of you, none. I forgot what season it was from, but he was talking, and you hear the players all laughing.
That's crazy.
Like whatever you got to do to stay fresh. And he's like, sex.
Do what you got to do, my boy.
Yeah, if that's what you got to do. Yes. Let's talk. Let's talk Purdy being the top Pro Bowl vote getter. I want to bring up this graphic because this man, he is the most, what's the word I'm looking for? The most polarizing quarterback conversation in the NFL. Like, people just don't want to give him his props. Some people are all, it's been him being picked last and all that other stuff. People are never going to let that go. But I wanted to put up this graphic of the votes. He is the number one vote getter in the National Football League for the Pro Bowl. So let's bring this up. Let me take that in that graphic. So Brock Purdy, top 5 vote getters. 3 out of the top 5 are 49ers, which I think that's awesome. Brock Purdy with 451,864. And then McCaffrey's a little lower, but isn't that crazy? And it's like there's 3 49ers on this: Kittle, McCaffrey. What do you think about that, bro? Like, the media doesn't respect him. A lot of, maybe some people in the NFL circles, as far as front offices, don't respect him, but his comrades, his players, his fellow players respect him. What do you think about that?
Players, fans, people in the smart people respect him. And you know what? I'm just so proud of Brock Purdy. I'm so happy for the guy. This was his first full regular season as the 49ers starter. And he led not just the NFC, because when I saw that, I was like, damn, that's pretty crazy. It's not just that he led the NFC. He led the entire NFL in votes, the entire league in votes, dude. That is insane. This man was the last pick in the draft last year. Like, I don't think people realize how crazy the story is. Let me pull up some stats. This guy is I just can't say how much I love this guy for, enough, because every year I say this a lot. Every year we've sat here, we talked about quarterback controversy and this and that. There's no more quarterback controversy for the 49ers. But the funny thing is, we're still talking about quarterbacks because the media wants to sit there and paint this negative picture on Brock, which is crazy. I don't know how you hate this guy, but the fact of the matter is, this guy is just silencing those doubters. He's had a monumental season, a historical season. Look at this: 4,280 passing yards. It sets a franchise record for the San Francisco 49ers. This is his second year in the NFL.
Think about some of the quarterbacks we've had here: Montana, Young, Garcia, like
crazy.
And he's number 1 over all of them in passing yards.
And he led the NFL in Pro Bowl votes, and he got his first Pro Bowl selection. This is the first Pro Bowl quarterback for the 49ers. First one since Jeff Garcia. Like, hello.
2 decades.
That should tell you how long we've been searching for quarterbacks. Every single day I go live, Aaron, for years, I was sitting here, quarterback this, quarterback that. Who are we going to draft? Who's a free agent? Are we going to get Matt Stafford? Are we going to get, this guy? Are we going to get every single year? Guess what? Now I'm sitting here telling you how great this quarterback is, how much I can't thank this guy enough, and how much I want him to get paid at such a high level. Shout out to Brock Purdy. Well deserved.
Mazel tov, my friend. And Richard Sherman thinks that he gets criticized, and is just the amount of criticism he says he gets is something like he's never seen. He's like, how young this guy is? And he loses a game to the Ravens and has a 4 interception game. And all these people who have been holding on to all these takes, I've been waiting all year just so they could say, see, I told you. I saw a take from a 49er content creator. I won't say his name. He made a comment about something to do with Brock Purdy or whatever. And in his comments to replies, you had some clown say, well, if Trey Lance was our quarterback, he wouldn't have thrown 4 interceptions in a game. And I'm thinking, I'm going to go with what Bashar said. You're right, he wouldn't have, because he would have been holding a clipboard on the sideline. So, really, we're still going with the Trey Lance stuff. The man probably may never touch an NFL field as a starting quarterback ever again. And yet, because you're just so fixated on the arm strength and the mobility and failed to see that the guy up here just didn't have it. And that's what, in the end, made Brock Purdy the guy that they went with. Was it? He lacks physical size. He lacks elite arm strength. He lacks elite speed. But his brain, when it comes to the game, is superior to, even the most athletic player. I mean, look at Justin Fields in Chicago, man. He has every trait you could want, Raj. He's got the feet. He's got the arm. But up here, he don't have it. And you got to have it up here along with those other traits. Brock has less of those other traits, but he has what it takes. So props to him. I'm sure Nick Wright will come out with some stupid video responding to it. Where are we going here? Adam, I don't know if this is on your channel or mine.
Shout out to my boy Adam.
I think it was on mine. Oh, thank you very much.
Very good.
199 super sticker. I appreciate it very, very much. Very much appreciated. Thank you for giving back to the stream. It's not something that I asked for, but I will always oblige if somebody sends me one. So thank you very much. Yeah, Brock is. I was listening to KNBR and they were talking about was it Matt Mayoka or Matt Barrows to say that the Niners essentially have found their quarterback of the future. Now, if that's coming from a guy like Barrows or Barrows or Matt Barrows or Matt Mayoka, you could take that to the bank.
Yeah,
because
Kyle,
he's
Kyle told us too so many times, and those guys are uber connected to the team. They just tell you.
Matt Mayoka is essentially an extension of John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah,
99% of the time he's right about everything.
I agree. Yeah.
Same thing with Barrows, but Mayoka's the guy. Yeah. So I take what he says as gospel. I'm just so proud of the kid. I'm glad he's going to get a little chance to rest before the playoffs. I hope it doesn't affect him too much. But at the same time, I'd like to see him get some rest and heal up his body because he's taken some shots this year.
He has.
He's not a big guy, Brock. He's pretty small. 6 foot tall in the NFL. 6'1" is actually pretty little. I'm the hair under 6'3", and I'm pushing small. Isn't that weird?
That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm just under 6. I'm like a centimeter, and I'm considered small. Wow. Like 6'4" to 6'5" is like your perfect quarterback range.
Yeah, and a lot of it is, that's what a lot of the people said. Brock took a shot in terms of where he was drafted. Oh, he's too small. He doesn't have the physical makeup, but he does take a lot of hits. He has taken some shots. I mean, he had the concussion a couple weeks ago, and the guys, NFL defensive linemen are monsters these days. And like you said, there's Brock is small in terms of NFL player because if you line him up next to those linemen, those guys are absolute juggernaut. They're just huge human beings. So you're right, definitely deserves that rest. I just hope, like Steve Young, he said he's a little concerned, but again, 49ers, I think they deserve this rest. And like you mentioned, the 49ers are going up against a Rams team who are basically resting their whole team. Cooper Kupp's not playing. Aaron Donald's not playing. Kyron Williams is not playing. And Matt Stafford's not playing. So why should we play our starters? It's just the respectful thing to do. Most starters in the NFL are not playing on Sunday night. Most quarterbacks, unless there's a big game.
If you can't affect your seeding, there's no reason to play.
Yeah, exactly. There's some teams that still need to play, and they're going to play their guys. But 49ers and the Rams, it's going to be. I mean, it's going to be Sam Darnold, Carson Wentz, the Ginger Bowl. Like this is cinema. Get your popcorn ready.
Son, the Ginger
Bowl.
Sam
Darnold and Carson Wentz. Sam Darnold is going to show us just why Brock Purdy is the starting quarterback. I can't wait for it. I love it.
He showed me that on that fumbled throw he tried to pull. I was like, that's why you're a backup.
Yeah.
Oh, he would do just fine. You got to support him. I'm like,
no, he has the same cast as Brock. He'll be doing great. He's terrible.
You're just saying, so Brock is just a dude, right? Thank you, Jupiter, so much for the $5 super. Thank you so much. Thank you. Omar, I think that's on your channel. The 99-cent super sticker.
See, pull it up. I don't think I see it on my. Let me see. Oh yeah! Shout out to my boy Omar, super sticker. Appreciate you, Omar. Can I pin it? Did I pin it? I don't know. It's hard when I'm on a collab show. I don't think I can pin it. Shout out to Omar. Appreciate you. You know what? Before we get any further, Me and Aaron, we definitely appreciate everybody for all the support on our channels, both channels. I know my channel has been growing like wildfire. So honestly, I respect everybody that gives me any support on this channel, my Instagram, everything. I put in a lot of work. I work 9 to 5, and I still do this. So it's always nice when I see the support from everybody, and it's been great. It's been a great year collabing with my boy Aaron here. It's been fun. We do it every week. We both have different takes on things, so it's nice to kind of run through things together with my boy. So definitely been a great season, and I appreciate the faithful for all the support that I've been getting. So thank you very much. Speaking of support, the 49ers have the most Pro Bowlers in the NFL. They got 9 players selected to the Pro Bowl. This roster is just fantastic, and it's probably given us the most hope and the biggest chance that we've had for the Super Bowl. If you really think about this roster, man, top to bottom, this is one of the best rosters this 49ers franchise has put together. Shout out to John Lynch. Shout out to Kyle Shanahan, Parag, Adam Peters, the whole front office. This team is incredible. There probably could have been more than 9, but, at some point, I think the coaches are like, we don't want to we can't make the whole team the 49ers, although they probably should be. But let's talk about this. We talked about Brock, right? Got his first Pro Bowl selection. Shout out to the King. Mooney Ward, Charvarius Ward, another player named to his first Pro Bowl, man. I'm so happy for that guy. He turned it around, in terms of being last year he had a lot of penalties, but he was still a good corner, but he just wasn't like at that Pro Bowl level this year. He said his goal was to be Pro Bowler, All Pro. He hit that first goal, getting a Pro Bowler. He's turning those PBUs into interceptions. I'm so proud of the guy. Fred Warner, another, Pro Bowl for him. He's a captain. He's a leader. Trent Williams, absolute legend, deserves a ring. Nick Bosa, the defending defense player of the year. I mean, once they got Chase Young, he became Nick Bosa again. Javon Hargrave, one of the best interior linemen. I'm so glad we got him. Kyle Juszczyk, 8 Pro Bowls, leads the NFL all-time of fullbacks selected. George Kittle, this guy is proven why he's the best tight end in the world. And you know what? I'm so happy Brock's his quarterback because he's brought George Kittle back to being George Kittle. And then Christian McCaffrey, man. This guy changed our franchise when they traded for him. He's been the most amazing player I've witnessed in a long time. Like, this is one of the best football players in the NFL in decades. Like, pure football player. This guy is incredible. We talked about him, how he deserves the rest and what he does for this team. In my opinion, he's the offensive player of the year. Shout out to the Pro Bowlers, man.
Yeah, I mean, look at that list. Bosa, Hargrave, Juszczyk, George Kittle, Christian McCaffrey, Purdy, Charvarius Ward, Warner, Williams. You could probably, we still got Debo. We still got Ayuk.
Yeah.
Shoot, Dre Greenlaw ain't a slouch either. He might not have had as great of a year as Fred Warner, but he's no slouch either. I mean, that's just how well put together this team is. Real quick, Omar just sent a super to me.
Perfect.
99-cent super sticker. I appreciate it very, very much. Like he said, I don't ever take anything for granted. I might have a lot of subs on my channel, but I'm more of a Niners news channel. So I post a lot of news, a lot of updates. The live game I've tried and it just hasn't worked. So anytime I get any support on the live front, appreciate it. I would love to see this thing pop off and be, 100 people watching at a time, but it just hasn't transpired. But I still have a lot of fun collabing with Raj and everybody else. So thank you so much. Let's see here. What is it I want to bring up? All right, so let's talk about matchups, NFC matchups.
Let's talk about playoffs.
Who in God's name do you want to see in that divisional round? Oops, let's take that down. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah,
having some problems here. Who would you like to see in that divisional round? I mean, it's usually the top seed plays the last seed, right? Whoever is the lowest.
So the lowest seed that's remaining is who the 49ers would play. So right now, going into the playoffs, if the playoffs started today, it's Green Bay versus Dallas. That'd be the 7-2 seed. Right now, if Dallas stays and gets the 2 seed, because Seattle knocked themselves out. They need to do some work this week. They got to hope that Green Bay loses. Seattle knocked themselves. They lost last week. So right now it would be Green Bay versus Dallas, right? And then the other spot would be Detroit versus LA. And check it out. Detroit, LA, I'm sure the NFL wants that game because it's Matt Stafford versus Jared Goff. Oh my God, the story writes itself. But if Detroit wins that game, they'd be the 3 seed. And if Dallas wins their game, then and then the 4-5 would probably be Philadelphia and the winner of the NFC South, which in my opinion would probably be Tampa Bay. So based off of what that is right now, going into the playoffs that started today, those are the matchups. You got Philly versus Tampa. So we'll use these matchups. Detroit versus LA, Green Bay versus Dallas. Honestly, I would love to play Green Bay. I would love to see them pull the upset on Dallas, and then we'd have the 49ers versus Green Bay. I mean, that'd be probably the best matchup, right, to me, in terms of favorite for getting to where they need to get. Otherwise, I think if everything happens right and chalk, the best teams win, maybe not so much seeding-wise, but I guess Philadelphia over Tampa Bay, putting the 5 seed against the 49ers. Philadelphia versus San Francisco is probably the matchup the league wants to see. I don't know. I don't care who we play in the first round, in our first playoff game. I'm just happy to be there, and I don't care who we play. I think the best matchup for the 49ers would probably be Green Bay. That'd be fun, right? But in the next round after that, NFC Championship, if they make it there, I mean, you got Detroit, you got Dallas maybe can make it. I mean, who knows? Is there going to be an upset? Sometimes there are. I would love to see a Detroit versus San Francisco matchup. I think Detroit, if they do end up playing the Dallas Cowboys, I would love to see them get a little bit of revenge from that game that happened last week. That ending was wild. So I would love to see a little, redemption for Detroit. I would love to see an NFC Championship, 49ers versus, Detroit. But I think with Dallas, if they do get the number 2 seed and they're the home team, they don't lose at home. I think they're kind of setting it up for Dallas versus San Francisco NFC Championship.
Like the old days, baby.
Not only that, but that's the big money tick. Like that is the drawing.
They're the most talented team in the NFC other than Philly.
Yeah.
Detroit's really good. Detroit's really good, but I feel like they're dangerous. People are like, we're dangerous. We are dangerous, but they're dangerous too. I'm not trying to give them credit. So to say that the Niners don't have a shot against them. I'm just saying they got a good coach. They're pissed off because they got screwed. It helped us out, them getting screwed. They lost that game. We got the 1 seed. So I'm sure they would love to come in and play us if they had a chance to knock us off. I just think the Niners got the experience. And I think that Detroit on the road is not quite the same as Detroit at home. Mm-hmm. Same thing with Dallas.
Yeah.
It would be Al Bundy made a good point here. His comment just came up. He says Detroit is too porous in the secondary. Mm-hmm. That is something that the Niners would have to totally take advantage of.
Torch them. And I would love to see it.
I think we'd all love to see it. But let's just relax. We don't have to worry about nothing this weekend. My whole thing to worry about is injuries. Injuries. I don't want to see many starters get hurt this week. I hope no one gets hurt. Because I want us to be full. I don't want to have any excuses. I want us to go in full strength. Going into the playoffs. I think you got yourself Niner Faithful Fantasy. I think that's on your channel. You had a $5 super duper chat.
Oh, shout out to post that one up. Let's see. Tagged out. Yeah, shout out to Niner Faithful Fantasy. Appreciate you for the $5 super chat. It says, what starters do you think will play on Sunday versus the Rams? Do you think Debo, Ayuk, and Warner will play? We smoked the Rams on that Rams Pack 09ers. That's a good question. Debo said he's already wanting to play. Fred Warner says if it's up to him, he'll play the whole game. I think that those guys will play. Skilled players will probably play a quarter. I'd be surprised if Debo doesn't. This guy wants to play. If you can't tell Debo no. I mean, it is up to Kyle, but Debo's mindset is I'm playing this weekend. He hates the Rams, and I think Debo has a chance to get 1,000 yards receiving. I think that is what he wants to do. I don't think Brandon Ayuk's going to play too much. I think maybe a quarter, you shut him down. Fred Warner, you don't need Fred in there because they got great linebackers. They got some young guys, D. Winters and Jalen Graham. Those guys could really use the reps here. Just throw them out there. Absolutely use the reps there. So I think Fred, maybe he'll play a series or two and then take it down. But the mentality of these guys are great is they want to go out there and play. But like I said earlier, you don't want to get a dumb injury like Bradley Chubb and the Dolphins. So I could see Debo playing a little bit over a quarter or so, and Ayuk maybe 2 series. But other than that, I think most of the guys will play a little bit in that first quarter. It's what Kyle kind of made it sound like today. Is yeah, they'll probably play some of these guys. But again, like Aaron said, is you can't rest everybody
No.
because there is a limit. So Armstead's already going to be out. Christian McCaffrey's already out. That's Brock Purdy. That's 3 guys. And then Ambry Thomas, that's 4. And then who else? Maybe Elijah Mitchell's got the flu, so I don't know if he's going to be able to play or not. It's 5 potentially.
Jeez.
Juwan
Really?
Jennings. Yeah.
That man has always got...
Juwan Jennings and then Aaron Banks. So if you look at those guys right there, that's your inactive players that are normally starters. So then, yeah, you're going to see Trent Williams. Yeah, you're going to see a couple of these starters out there, but they're not going to play a long time. You got a lot of backups. And again, that's why Logan Ryan's there. He's going to get some reps. You're going to see Jason Verrett getting some meaningful time. You're going to see
Eric Harris gets in there?
Eric Harris will probably play. Isaiah Oliver. Like, all these guys are going to play. And it's going to be nice for them because they need the reps. So,
Womack.
Javon Kinlaw probably going to play the whole game, though. That's the guy that needs the reps.
I want to talk about him because depending on who you talk to, some people say he's had a decent year. I was listening to Matt, whoever was on KNBR, I think it was Mayoka, and they said he's had a horrible year. He's played horrendous, especially against the run.
So it depends how you look at it. And yeah, Russell makes a good point. It's basically like a preseason game. It's like a practice game, yeah. But it depends on what you're looking at. Like, yes, in terms of did he put like quality film out there? Was he like a dominant player? Was he a top 15 pick type player this year? Absolutely not. He wasn't a top 15 player. He got abused in some plays. But if you look at it in the standpoint of Javon Kinlaw has never had a healthy season in the NFL until this year. He played the entire season, never once was injured. He was not on the injury report. That, to me, is a successful season for Javon Kinlaw. He did put film on tape. So if he doesn't return to the 49ers and he is a free agent, these teams can look at him and see the film and say, oh, we can work with that. We could develop this guy. This was basically, if you really look at Javon Kinlaw's season, this is like a second-year player, in all terms of the word. Like, this guy has missed so many games. He never really got to develop. So, yeah, he might be kind of a ho-hum mid player, but like an average defensive lineman because he never really played in the NFL. He played his first season, got hurt every single year after that. Injury. So in terms of the guy got to finish the season and play, he was successful in that instance. But was it like great play? Probably not. I mean, he was still learning the ropes this year. So I look at it in that aspect of, yeah, dude, Kinlaw made it through the whole freaking season. That to me is a dub. But did he play elite? Absolutely not.
Hey, Boogie says with Brock sitting this Sunday, his MVP chance pretty much over. They were when that Ravens game ended.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
And then Lamar followed up that game against the Niners against the Dolphins with the amazing performance. So that if there were any questions, I think Lamar sealed them, put them to bed, and then he himself will be sitting out this weekend.
And that's okay. The fact that Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, had a chance at an MVP, that says a lot. No. I would give him comeback player of the year.
What do you think is going to come back? It's probably going to be Damar Hamlin. I mean, just because he came back from being dead.
Damar Hamlin, the media sensation?
Yeah, if it wasn't for him, which I'm not going to say he doesn't because, I mean, that's incredible what he came back from. But if you take away Damar Hamlin, because that's like default, give it to him, who gets it? There's Joe Flacco, who's coming back from being on the bench. Baker Mayfield, right? You got Brock Purdy, where I don't know. I mean, he came back from a big surgery and then one of the biggest injuries that we've seen in a long time. But it was in the NFC Championship. So it's like,
okay, that's
true.
He
didn't miss much in the season, but I still think that he definitely qualifies because he did have a huge comeback. And the fact that he played at the level he played and he was in the MVP talks, to me, that means something. So I don't know. It's going to be an interesting award. I definitely think Damar Hamlin's going to win it, though.
Greedy Greg 415 says, Raj, I saw the tape. He was getting his ass getting linked and pushed out of the play. And
absolutely. And like I said, Javon Kinlaw played. He didn't play great. And there was time. I mean, I've seen games where he was getting pushed around and just trashed on the line. But again, what I'm saying is he's successful in the sense of
he put a good year of film out there.
He put
to essentially get him a job.
Get him a job for wherever. I'm not saying he played elite at any purpose.
So he's getting league minimum. He's not getting like
but the point is going into the season. The question was he even going to play in the NFL? Was he even going to get the job after the season? Because the 49ers brought him back. But the fact that he was able to stay healthy, there's going to be a team that says, you know what, Javon Kinlaw, we can work with this guy. We can develop him. And now we'll take the risk because he showed he can play a full season without being injured. So team can take a risk on him. Would I re-sign him if I'm the 49ers? Absolutely not. And it's
Watch
because
him go to Philly.
go to Philly, and then we'll bleach his bum out. But I don't think
Yeah.
that the 49ers should bring him back.
Bleach his bum. Yeah, there's definitely some people that need their bum bleached. That's a whole another topic for another show. Oh boy. Let's talk about something that a lot of people don't care about, and that's the 49ers 2024 opponents. We talked off stream about 49ers and who they're going to play. This is I got this off of Twitter. It's kind of like a screenshot. It doesn't have everything official, but it kind of gives you an idea. So we got home. We have Arizona, LA Rams, Seattle, Chicago, Detroit, Jets, New England, Kansas City, winner of the NFC East, Philly or Dallas. Away, Arizona, LA Rams, Seattle, your division, Green Bay, Minnesota, Miami. We got to go to Miami and Buffalo. I live in Rochester. It's really close to Buffalo. Might be making the trip. Might be my first ever 49er game ever. I have to go.
You gotta
hopefully
go.
Me and my nephew. Hopefully me and my nephew are talking to each other by this time next year. Because I would love to go with him, as it would be an awesome experience, especially if we go in there and we smack their ass. I don't talk when I watch games. I'm very quiet, especially when we're winning. I'm like, and then I get after, like, I'll get in the car and I'll be like, wah! But I've gotten to the point because, there's me and then there's like a bunch of other fans. So if I start getting a little mouthy, kind of outnumbered, but I'm not afraid of anybody. I'm just saying. Any game on there that gives you any cause for pause or?
Oh man, there's so many games. I know we got to get the job done this season, but it's always nice to look ahead and plan my season next year because I love going to the games. I want to go to a road game again this year. I did Arizona last year and it was absolute amazing experience. I did some playoff games the last few years, but Green Bay is going to be like, that's a vibe to me. That's an absolute experience. If you're a football fan, going to Lambeau should be on your list. I want to go to that game, so I would love to go see the game at Green Bay. Yeah, Buffalo would be cool, man. It's that'd be cool, to see Josh Allen. But I think actually Miami would be a fun one. Definitely a cool game. And then the other game that I see as a home game that I'm really looking forward to, the Jets. Robert Salah, as long as he sticks around, and which they say he's going to, and then is Aaron Rodgers coming back? That Jets versus Niners.
That would be an awesome game.
That'd be fun, man. And I like Detroit. They've really turned it around. I would love to see a Detroit versus 49ers, especially if they play each other in the playoffs and there's some revenge factor. I think those are probably my favorite games looking at this already. I hope we get, man, we play Dallas every year. Give us Philly at home, but I don't think they're going to win the division. And then if it's between Tampa, New Orleans, or Atlanta, I would take Tampa. But we've played them a lot over the last couple of years. Yeah, I don't know. I think that the Jets, Detroit, and Green Bay are probably my favorite games. And like I said, Miami. You should go to Miami with your bro. He's a Miami fan. That would be a fun game for you to go to.
We'll have to talk about it. Yeah. We might. It would. I mean, I don't think we're gonna fly. I think we'd take a car ride down there, which would take 24 hours. Or we could take a plane. I don't know. We would have to go down to Miami, but I mean, they're right here in Buffalo. I would have to. I have a coworker, even though I haven't been working in a while. A coworker, James, big Niners fan. So I want to see how many Niners fans I know, and maybe go as a group. So instead of me sitting by myself, I'm sitting with 5 or 6 other dudes or girls, whoever's, if they're a girl fan, I don't care. I'm not really worried about next year. I'm not even stressing about next year. I just thought it was awesome that we play in Buffalo, because if I don't go to that game next year and I do a stream on the following day, I expect to get roasted. Like, really, bro? How much of a puss are you? Go to the game. I want to go. We'll see. I can afford it, which I think I can. I don't know. I just got to find some people to go with. I know at least I know at least one person that I could go with and other people who I would probably meet. Some other 49er fans. I'm surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if someone like Wayne Breezy goes. I know that he was talking about it, and there's other 49er fans. But yeah, if anybody thinks about going to the Buffalo game next year, let me know. It'd be awesome if it's early in the year, because I really don't want to go when it's really cold outside. And I'm a New Yorker. That should tell you about how much I hate the cold. But that would be fun. That'd be really fun.
Yeah, it'd be a good one. That's a good one. Well, any closing thoughts, comments, words, anything here?
Not my whole thing is that I really let me get this off the screen. I'm sorry. Give me 1 sec. I am slow tonight. Slower than usual. I just want to get through this game with not a lot of serious injuries, because some starters are going to play. So I'm just, God helping, nobody getting rolled up or somebody up on the back of their ankles or anything. We don't need any of that, people. We need to just get out of Dodge. I know the talk is, rust over rest. I'm all about rest. This team is tired. We saw the championship game last year. That second half, the Niners were done. They were done. They were just so tired. If they would have went to the Super Bowl, they would have gotten mollywopped. This year, like I said, I compare it to the Jaguars game. We came out of that Jaguars game and looked like a completely different team than the team that went and lost those 3 straight. So I'm definitely looking forward to just getting in and getting out of the Rams game without any serious injury. But, our quarterback ain't playing, so I'm happy. Hopefully not a bunch of skill guys on defense play. Let Randy Gregory play. Let some of these other guys play. Be interesting to see how much Chase Young and Bosa, are they all not going to play? Is Hargrave not going to play? Who starts? There's got to be some starters, right? So
yeah, like I said, I feel like a few of them will, but I don't expect them to play much. And like the Rams are not playing their guys. It's just, man, imagine getting tickets to this game before the season or a couple weeks ago, and you're like, oh man, Niners, Rams, oh yeah, it's a big game, oh yeah, and now it's like Sam Darnold versus Carson Wentz.
We were talking about it, oh man, this could be for the division. They're a dangerous team to play, and rah 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 rah. And now we don't even have anybody, starters aren't playing. The thing is, could we face the Rams in the playoffs?
We might. If they can get an upset on Detroit, then yeah, we play them. If Dallas beats whoever they play, most likely Green Bay. If Dallas can beat Green Bay or Seattle, and let's say the Rams pull an upset off on Detroit, if that's how it goes, it's gonna be Rams Niners in the divisional round.
Scary, but I think we can beat them.
Oh yeah.
Defense needs the Niners defense. I will say this before we go. The Niners defense needs to bring back their level of play up to a certain standard, because they've been a little piss poor lately. They've played well, but to say that they've been elite or top of the league, that would be very far-fetched. They've given up a lot of points in the last couple weeks.
They were missing tackles.
Yeah, a lot of missed tackles, and people can say they're tired or whatever, but everybody's tired. Mm-hmm. So we'll see. I don't know. Is that pretty much it, man?
That's pretty much it. I think that wraps it up. Appreciate the faithful. Appreciate you, Aaron. We will talk next week, but we won't have a game to preview. But we'll talk next week.
Yeah, we'll be talking. Probably a repeat of this stream. We'll just keep all the same topics.
Okay, that's fine.
That's okay.
We'll see. I'm sure there'll be more. There'll be more news next week.
Yeah, we'll have more of an idea who we might play.
Yeah. We'll probably talk about the playoff matchups. I mean, today was kind of primitive, but we'll know exactly what the playoff matches are. So maybe we'll do a quick 30-minute one next week and, talk about Javon Kinlaw and what the future holds for him. So.
Yeah, there's definitely some stuff we can go offshoot. We can talk about, top 49ers who's had the best season. If you had to go top 3 or something, maybe a Mooney Ward or this, that, or the other. So we'll talk about. We'll find something to talk about.
Okay, sounds good.
Maybe I'll get arrested and we can talk about that.
Don't get arrested.
No, I won't get arrested.
Bro.
We might not have a show if that's the case. All right, guys and gals. Talk to you later. Thanks for the support.